In about October or November, October 2011, a member of Anon Veracruz, which was one of a sort of a cell of active anonymous movement participants, was kidnapped by the Zetas. There's a lot we don't know about the specifics. It may have been a random thing. It probably was. Had nothing to do with him being anonymous. He was held for ransom. This is one of the things the Zetas do, aside from drug running, or used to do, or of their capabilities. Anyway, so the Anon Veracruz people began, they asked for some assistance on this. What they wanted to do was somewhat controversial among some of the American Anons. What they wanted to do was make known to the Zetas that if this guy is not released within a certain number of days, that Anon Veracruz is going to release the names of 75 Zetas affiliated police officers, cab drivers, and so forth. The kind of people that help the Zetas, cover their tracks, transport stuff, engage in kidnappings, killings. And had they done that, there were, especially at that time in Mexico, there's a lot of groups that are very well armed and trained, not the police, not the military, that make it a point to execute such people. And because this was a war. This whole operation was very popular in Mexico. It was less popular among some of the douchey, some of the hacker sorts and some of the people with no skin in the game who started objecting to it, who started attacking Don Veracruz for this because because they thought it was unsafe or whatever. And so I stepped up and kind of became the face of that by explaining this to the press and to other Anons and saying, hey, it's not your fucking business how these Mexican Anons handle the kidnapping of one of their own or handle the Zeta cartel. None of you know anything about the cartels. You never lived in Mexico, whereas I have, and my family comes from the border and all that. But more to the point, these Mexicans live in Mexico. They deal with these cartels. They're going to do this, and the reporters and the Anon participants in the U.S. and Europe and elsewhere who are objecting should reconsider or shut the fuck up. Anyway, so as often happens, the press decided that I was in charge of this entire operation. And there's a bunch of articles, if you look up Barrett Brown, Zetas, from mainstream outlets, The Atlantic, whatever else, proposing that maybe I'm gonna get my head cut off in Dallas, Texas. Anyway, in that period, some of the people that were involved with HB Gary, in the FBI and so forth, did such things as posting my mom's address online on Twitter and tagging the Zetas in them. Yeah. This is one of the things that later drove me to.
Where did they post this stuff? Where were Twitter. These people that work within these companies and within the FBI doxed your mom on Twitter.
Yep, including Aaron Barr, using the name Narganon. Aaron Barr was the CEO of HB Gary, one of the first company we investigated. Tom Ryan, another guy who was involved with another FBI cooperator and asset. Anyway, yes, several of them posted this and did not get kicked off Twitter. Did not, there was no repercussions for them. And that's kind of how this stuff goes. And that's the least of it. You can still find hundreds and hundreds of death threats against me by FBI cooperators that are just sitting on Twitter that, have never gotten anyone in trouble. This is it's the same thing for other people who are very active in exposing intelligence operations. Palantir, Peter Thiel, his network. We all get the same treatment, and some of us fare better than others. Some of us end up dead. Some of us live to fight another day.
So once your mom got doxxed on Twitter, that's what led to you making that video that you posted, I believe, on YouTube.
No.
Okay.
No. What that led to me was calling her and asking her to leave the house, and then calling actually local police and saying, hey, I normally wouldn't call you guys, but some of your buddies in the fucking FBI have just done this, so I want you to patrol on that block because if anything happens to my mom,